regular nut, there is a gap between the, let me draw it. This is the screw, this is the nut. When you try to move the screw or the nut, there is a gap between the threads. This is the gap. So you have to make certain turn left or right before you eliminate this gap. When you're using the step motor technology, it works that I'm moving by the specification of the motor 1.2 degrees, 2.4 degrees. So that might be the movement needed to eliminate this gap when you're advancing or retreating. In order to eliminate this one, what is suggested? Very simple. For the liner movement, you have the liner bearing, which consists from the shell, and we have a groove. Inside of this groove, would not wibble when you're moving it.
Excuse me. Hi.
Sure. So this one, for the incubator movement, we have all those. So those are the bearing, liner bearings.
Yes.
And inside of it, between the reels, those balls that I showed to you. And when you're moving it, they started to rotate, eliminated all the like gaps, dead zones. This one is the rotary type shaft.
Yes.
And this is the bearing, liner bearing, which is sort of exactly the same one. When I'm turning the motor, there is no gap between I started to turn and the actual movement appeared. So my advice, no matter what, do not play with the bearings. First time you take the incubator out of the reels, you'll kill the bearing.
Yes. Of course.
All the balls will start to fall out. Have a wonderful time to clean them and to put them back, and then to grease. Depending on the environment, of course, the lubrication will worn out, or the grease in this case. Until today, I don't know the specification, exactly specification for the lubricant I have to use. We've been supplied by the manufacturer. There's in the tubes.
Think normal one as the other instrument. Say mechanical.
This one is low viscosity grease, and on the syringe is the high viscosity grease. Okay? Because this one is getting like more warm than this one, and it should stay, it shouldn't leak. Because the normal, if I put the high temperature on this one, it will simply become form of the liquid, like a regular oil, lubrication oil, and it will like come down. You cannot use the same one in here. It should stay with the temperature. Specification inside of this device. If you want to, I can tell you the principle, how the principle of working. Do you need to know really? It's multiplying the light photons that we are reading from the reading valve, regular tube that came from the Stone Age. It goes from the cathode, in this case, electrons from the anode, and the high voltage applied to it. Anode is located this direction, so when it hits here, it's getting two photons, two electrons hidden here, but because of the high voltage, it will discharge 9 electrons, let's say for argument's sake. That goes to this anode. 9 hits there, it would be 27 here.
Yeah.
So 27 here, it would be 51 or whatever, 70 here. So this way, at the last one, 2 electrons discharged by the cathode will generate 24 volts supplied in here, that it has a voltage multiplier based on the diode on the capacitor, which is multiplying 2 times every cascade, and and then you get in the high voltage in here output. Yes, it does fail. Then you have to replace it. Now, this one. We finish with. We need to do a very few things, quite a few things in here. Before we proceed any further, let's move it back. We have to take back cover of this one. We go in here. We take now these 2 screws.
What does interrupter sensor?
Huh?
For what?
This one for the syringe.
For syringe?
Yeah.
Yes. So 1, 2, 3. 4,
Yeah, it's
5,
just an
6,
optical reader. That's it. So take out these 2 screws. Okay. Put the screws in the appropriate bin. Need to take control board, the optical sensor board, and all these connectors. 1, 2, 3. Still not enough, because in order to change it in a human way, you need to disconnect this cable trap from the device and unscrew 2 wires in here on this connector. Why they screwed, don't ask me. That's for your convenience to suffer on the field. Idiotic things completely. So we start the reader and the supply, and it has another part.
To capture.
No. Look. There's 2 things. It's engage the reader, come down, and then it's engaging it. It's 2 parts of it.
For
You
what?
see?
For what?
To turn on the lamp.
To turn?
Yeah.
Oh.
It goes down first. It comes
To
down.
open it.
Yeah, and then look at here.
Yes.
I'm engaging the lamp,
Oh.
reading. Okay, it's like a lens cover, and another thing it serves as engager.
Yes.
Okay.
What so
exactly
inside
is-
is cover.
Huh?
Like shutter. Like
Yes.
cover.
Yes.
You can say this shutter that always off and on, or to move it.
No,
Must
it's
there go up?
basically it's disengage like this.
Ah,
Okay. And then when it needs to read, boom, read it.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
if it's
Let's.
continuously moves, so any.
It doesn't move continuously. It's move on with this one, then
Just
it has
this
to return.
move.
That's it.
Okay.
Like close open.
Yeah.
So any damage of the lows
No,
or
not
to,
on this one. Not on this one. Okay. We did this one, right? Okay. Now we are taking off those 4 screws.
this for?
Yeah.
निकालने को कह रहे हैं ना
हाँ.
To release this module, we need to unscrew these 2 screws. Now use this, yeah. Okay, and now we have to disconnect 2 screws in here. Can you use the tiny screwdriver and loot them out? Make sure you know that how they go in. Brown is the P plus. White is the P minus.
2.
The- Now, get the Phillips screwdriver. Take out these 2 screws. remove 1, 2, 3. Oh, you have to first one. Also, yeah, from this side. But don't pull it too hard. Like you have to stop right after you pull it out. Okay.
Yes.
There's a two studs still that is holding the board, and there are 3 screws. 2 with the rubber and 1 without is the hidden one. We have to remove all of this. No. Everything you put to the back cover incubator. Don't mess them up. 'Cause otherwise